Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today's video is going to be a Twitch highlight draft. I'm going to alternate back and forth between a pre-recorded and one of the Twitch live drafts on the channel here. You can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below if you want to catch these drafts live. Otherwise, let's just hop into the draft. Alright, first draft of the night of double feature, my second double feature draft total. As you can see, the 2 rares per pack, and it's a mixture of Innistrad, Crimson Vow, and Midnight Hunt. It's pretty much everything you need to know about it. It's every card from both of those sets. So if you have a good feel for either of those sets, you should know generally what's going to be good and what is not. And Creepy Puppeteer is certainly a card that's going to be very good, dropping this down turn 4 with haste and turning your smaller creature into a 4/3 when this attacks in, which puts a really quick clock on your opponent. Often this will just come out and you hit your opponent for 8 on turn 4. Pretty ridiculous card. Easy pick one, pack one. Oh, we get to see everybody we're drafting with again. They stopped hiding it. I know they're doing another Arena Open in the future. I'm sure they're going to hide it for that. So there's still a rare in this pack, because there are 2 per pack. So this one is all of your spirits get +1/+1, and it's a 2/2 flyer for 3. And if you draft like Flashback or Disturb, all of your spells from your graveyard are 1 cheaper. That's pretty fun. Blue-red Flashback was definitely somewhat of a thing back in Midnight Hunt. It was not a good color pair, but there were a lot of good flashback spells in there, and it would work well with Patrician Geist. And with Creepy Puppeteer, we don't lose the abilities, so if we play blue-red and we play a flyer turn 3 into Creepy Puppeteer turn 4, we're attacking with a flying 4-power creature. Yeah, sure, I'll just start jamming rares. Alright, this rare is certainly less exciting, but it's fine. Triskaidekaphile here. Could just keep taking rares because the prize support in this event is not that great. You do get a Dracula style every time, no matter what, but you do get less gems than like Premier Draft. So if we just start off with 60 gems no matter what happens, that's something. Again, Triskaidekaphile is pretty slow. It's not great, but I don't love these other blue or red cards. Honestly, my favorite on-color card in the pack's probably just Stitched Assistant, or even Ancestral Anger, because in blue-red there are a lot of things that care about the number of instants and sorceries in your graveyard, or the number of instants and sorceries that you cast, so just 1 mana to draw a card can be a decent effect. Get a little bit of extra damage out with that. Ancestral Anger might actually be the best card for us here, but I'll just rare draft. Triskaidekaphile's not that much worse. Just a slow card draw engine. I definitely want to make sure I have removal, because with 2 rares in every pack, this is going to be a bomb-heavy format. So Lacerate Flesh, while it's not the best removal, is still removal. Markov Retribution is only removal if you control vampires, which we don't have any currently. We could get some in red, but there are no blue vampires. Seems probably a bit far off for us. I'm just going to take the weaker removal spell, the Lacerate Flesh here. Possible we get cut off of red here and move into like black, because red hasn't seemed super open. I mean, Reckless Impulse is fine, but seeing Parasitic Grasp and Covert Cutpurse here is nice. These are both pretty solid black cards. I don't even know which is better. They're both just pretty good. But I guess we could also just play it safe and take a great blue card, the Revenge of the Drowned. This is really nice at slowing down your opponent. Slow down your opponent, get a Decayed Zombie. It's one of these cards that puts the creature back on top of their library, so it's like they skip their next turn recasting it. Or they just put it on the bottom and it's basically just a full removal spell. I could see an argument for one of the black cards. I don't think we take Reckless Impulse there, but I'll go with Revenge of the Drowned. Just hedge our bets in the middle there. Ardent Elementalist wasn't as good as it looked, but that's because red was pretty weak in Midnight Hunt, I think. I feel like this card itself is actually good, and it would definitely be good with the blue-red stuff that Crimson Vow has. Cradle of Safety was pretty solid too. It's very good at protecting a bomb threat. So like a Patrician Geist or Creepy Puppeteer, that wouldn't be bad. I'll take a Cradle. Ooh, alright. Now I'm happy we're still in red because we just didn't see a lot of red cards in those earlier packs, but this looks like... yeah, this just looks like full-on just a great card, Alluring Suitor this late. I think the issue it had in Midnight Hunt was how it was pretty slow and unimpactful on the battlefield. That's true. True, Midnight Hunt was a pretty fast format, as is Vow. I think they're both, in their own way, can be fast formats, and Alluring Suitor is a really aggressive card, super sweet card. It's easily the pick there for me. Alright, well yeah, blue-red are nice and open here. We get to take a Falcon Abomination or an Ancestral Anger here. Even Silverbolt wouldn't be absolutely horrible, but I think I just like Falcon Abomination here. Get another flyer to play on turn 3 to curve into the creepy Puppeteer. We're looking like a really solid blue-red aggro deck. And I'll just cut a blue card out of this pack, I guess. But Shipwreck Sifters is very much for the blue-white decks. It's really good in those and doesn't really do anything in any other deck. Well, now we could try the Elementalist or Syncopate. Syncopate was always solid. We're looking really aggressive here, actually, now. We have multiple aggressive 3-drops, an aggressive 4-drop here. Actually don't think I'm going to want Elementalist. I think we're just trying to beat some people up. I have never cast a Honeymoon Hearse in my life. Maybe it's actually good, and I should give it a shot. Well, I'm just going to take Anger, though. I guess the Stitch Supplier is probably better than it was in Vow as well, because now we have Decayed Zombie tokens to sacrifice, and we do have 1 or 2 cards that make those already. Revenge of the Drowned and Falcon Abomination. Maybe Stitch Supplier over Ancestral Anger would have been right there. Ooh, a red rare. Don't mind if I do. Ill-Tempered Loner. Really big bomb rare. Even if they chump block it, you're dealing damage to your opponent. If they trade off with it, you're dealing damage to whatever you want. Even you can kill their creatures when this is dealt damage. If it flips to the backside, your opponent has like no shot, because every single one of your creatures is dealing damage when it's getting hit. I can't speak English, but I can cast Ill-Tempered Loner. Blue rare, but this one's not good. Yeah, backside of Ill-Tempered Loner is ridiculous. Absolutely wild card. I just like Storm Chaser Drake here. It's really good with our Cradle of Safety, anything we have to target our own cards. So if we get any Disturb cards, Ancestral Anger it's incredibly good with as well. And it's also just a 2-mana 2/1 flyer, just a good aggressive card even if you never target it. So I like that. Infiltrator is like fine, Epicure would be fine. And another Cradle would be fine, or an Evolving Wilds. But I think the Storm Chaser Drake's definitely the best there. Alright. Really like Falconwrath Celebrants at the top end of the curve for any red deck. Large, hard to block with Menace, and it gives you the blood tokens to make sure you don't flood out. Really like that card. I know Gale Drifter was pretty solid too. So between Gale Drifter and Celebrants, not sure what the pick is. I think we already have, yeah, we already have multiple great 4-mana cards. I like just plopping in a Celebrants here. I'm not super confident on this pick though. I think you could take a Gale Drifter and probably be fine. Even maybe a Castaway. But I love me a Falconwrath Celebrants. Alright, I really like taking another Falcon Abomination here, because we've got quite the Flyers theme going on. Now we have even more Decayed Zombies if we get anything that wants to sacrifice cards. And worst case scenario, they do help get in some random extra damage. Just slam them in there. They're going to make any of the blue exploit cards a lot better as well, the more Decayed Zombies we have. Diver Scab is a solid card, especially with Decayed Zombies, but I think I'm still taking the more aggressive Flyers first. Another Alluring Suitor. Card is just super awesome if you get this to flip. Being able to Fire Breathe on 2 creatures is great. This can ramp out a 5-drop early by giving you that red mana to pay into your next spell, or you can just pay the red mana into Fire Breathing the turn you attack with it. Excellent aggressive card. Super happy with that. Locked in the Cemetery. 2-mana enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap. If you have 5 or more cards in your graveyard, then you tap something when you play it, so that's not going to happen too often, I think, with how aggressive we are. Festival Crasher was fine if you're really aggro, as was like Bloody Betrayal. Could be one of these. We don't have a lot of removal here. I don't know, I'm just going to take Locked in the Cemetery. It's not great removal, but I feel like removal is just going to be very, very important. We already have 1 Syncopate. It already looks a little weird in this deck. I think Combat Tricks would be pretty great in this deck, so like Sure Strike here. Only have 12 creatures right now, though. But Tavern Ruffian is not the ideal creature. A 4-mana 6/5 sounds really good, but it's just not that consistently. Not a lot going on here. Vivisection's like okay with Decayed Zombies, and we do have a couple of those. Unblinking Observer's kind of whatever. Lightning Wolf. And just take a filler card. Wedding Invitation would be fine as well. Ooh, happy to take another Revenge of the Drowned here. I'm going to go ahead and sort my creature curve real quick, because I think that will matter a good bit. We've got some great aggressive flyers. I'd like to get a lot of 2-mana creatures now, I think, to really get that early game pressure on my opponents. Yeah, so this is our actual creature curve, so we're definitely looking for more 2-drops, I think. Alright. I mean, that's a 2-drop, 2-mana 2/2. I'll take it. Hungry Ridgewolf. We get the Gale Drifter nice and late, so I guess we get both the Celebrants and the Gale Drifter if we wanted them both. Don't have enough enchantments to really run Steelclad Spirit and still be aggressive, but could be a Moat Piranhas in a Flyers deck. Just a little defender to keep your opponent from hitting you. I don't think we're going to have enough Decayed Zombies to play around with Larder Zombie. Although it's fine if you do. Oh my god, Grafted Identity now? Absurd rare. Absurd bomb rare. It's a removal spell and a bomb all in one because you're taking their bomb and using it against them. Yep, that's just excellent. And we already have a couple things that make Decayed Zombies, so sacrificing a creature shouldn't be as difficult as it could be. And even if we had nothing that made Decay Zombies, this would still be a good card. I like Moonrager Slash a lot here. We can use this as a removal spell or potentially a way to get a couple more damage in on our opponents. Super good. And we don't really have any other options in this pack outside of Siphon Essence, which is very medium for this deck. We've got Startle. That was a pretty good combat trick because you're drawing a card when you play it, so... I mean, 2 mana, make a Decayed Zombie, draw a card is already good because it just replaces itself. So if you get any value from the -2/-0, that just seems excellent. Slam a Startle in here. It's that and a bunch of very sideboardy kind of red cards. Wolfrider is a slow card. It does just spit out more creatures. It's pretty cool. We don't have enough to sacrifice to use the Biolume Egg. Could use Stitched Assistant or the Wolfrider. I'm going to try out the Wolfrider here. Worst case scenario, now we just have we have 5 or 6 random rares in this deck, so we're just jamming rares, and no matter what, we're getting some gems back out of this for rare drafting a ton. And I like more 2-mana creatures. We'll take an Astronomer. Winged Portent, I mean, we could take that for gems again, but don't have enough flyers to really go after that card. I feel like even if every creature in your deck is a flyer, that's a little bit hard to do. Oh, wow. Burn the Accursed here? I mean, we have double Revenge of the Drowned, Grafted Identity, and Moonrager Slash now for, great removal. Locked in the Cemetery, Syncopate for, medium removal. So I don't know if we need the Burn the Accursed, which makes me kind of leaning towards the Ballista Watcher. Because when this flips, this card's really, really hard to beat, because you're shutting off blockers for 3 mana. And if they're small enough, you're just permanently killing them. Take a Ballista Watcher there, and I guess a Belligerent Guest here. Now I don't have to play Daybreak Combatants, I suppose. I'm going to be cutting a lot of non-creature spells here, but the Raconteur / Ravager could still do some things. Chill the Grave could do some things too, just being kind of a tempo aggro deck here. Fearful Villager could do some things. Oh, we have a lot of excellent 4-mana cards. I don't know if we're going to have the room for another, so I'll take the Chill of the Grave. Definitely Evolving Wilds here. Siphon Essence to the sideboard. These are going to be best of 1 games, but I'm already considering cutting pretty much all the counter spells. Probably not cutting Stitched, or not running Stitched Assistant, because our other 3-drops are really, really good. Maybe over Belligerent Guest, I don't know. I don't think I'm playing Daybreak Combatants either. Wow. Alright, well, our colors were wide open. We get a lot of options for what to cut here. We've got a ton of rares in this deck, and then we do have a decent amount of just filler creatures to pick between, and that's mainly what we're going to be cutting. So this deck looks awesome in general. So we actually didn't get that much that actually cares about casting a lot of non-creature stuff, so don't need nearly as many non-creature cards as I took here, especially not like the Ancestral Anger. We don't have anything that actually combos with this. for casting an instant or sorcery, or having instants and sorceries in grave. Oh, Shipwreck Sifters doesn't combo in our deck because we're not blue-white disturb. Triskaidekaphile's very slow. Our deck looks pretty aggressive. Don't know if we're going to be dumping a bunch of mana into an ability like this late game. We're trying to just close the game out quickly. Yeah, I'd prefer just any 2-mana 2/2s over a 2-mana 1/3 Triskaidekaphile. So if we cut all that, then we're cutting 6 cards, and we still need to cut 3 more. We have 17 creatures now? I think that's pretty much where I want to be. I think I just want this exact creature base, and then we just cut 3 non-creatures. Maybe a Lacerate Flesh. Stick to the cheaper interaction. Revenge of the Drowned, it is temporary removal, but that's all we're really trying to do is tempo our opponent out. So even like Chill of the Grave, similarly temporary removal.
We are unstoppable.
But I will take it. Thank you very much for the follow, Mindless Disorder. And welcome to the stream. I like Cradle of Safety a lot in this deck too, because we do just have rares through the roof. If we grafted Identity their card and then hold a Cradle of Safety up to protect it, that's great. Cradle of Safety is excellent with Ill-Tempered Loner. Lots of stuff that people are going to try to kill with targeted removal, so I definitely like Cradle. Thanks for the kind words, Mindless. Yeah, 3 cuts to go. I really don't want to cut Cradle, which leaves me feeling that I should cut like Sure Strike and Startle as the combat tricks, but this deck can use combat tricks. We have a lot of 2 and 3 drop creatures. I definitely don't want to cut the Slash, the Grafted Identity, the 2 Revengers, or the Cradle. Maybe we can cut the Chill. So that's 4 cards we could cut. We only need to cut 3 of them. Maybe we could even cut a land. How's our curve looking? 3.1 average? Really need to hit 3 mana. Not super sure. Gale-Drifter might be a little slow for this deck, but we're at 17 creatures right now. I don't really want to cut creatures. Is Cradle of Safety just Magical Christmas Land? Like, it's just too slow? Like, it does protect our big bomb cards, but with the way our curve looks, with great aggressive 3-drops, like 3 flyers at 3 mana, and 2 Alluring Suitors, so super aggressive 3-drops, and then a lot of bomby 4-drop cards. Like, do we even need to be holding up Cradle of Safety mana? Like, we're not going to hold up a Cradle of Safety till turn 6, turn 7, because we're just dumping creatures out until then. Maybe it isn't a Cradle of Safety deck, but then which of these other cards is it using? What 2 of these 5 cards makes the most sense for this deck? I really think Sure Strike does. But at the same time, like, if we're not holding up mana for Cradle of Safety, we're not holding mana up for Sure Strike. But Sure Strike's one of these cards we get to use during combat if we just hold our next creature for main phase 2. Like, if they make some weird block, then we can decide to do it. I think with Grafted Identity, I definitely like Startle. Let's put Startle in, and then we pick 1 more of these 4. We could definitely use Decayed Zombies, even just slamming them into our opponent's face for 2 damage. And of course, then we have something to sacrifice to the Grafted Identity. I think I'm just gonna lower it to just the tricks that like draw us a card. So I'll just slam Chill of the Grave in here and then cut these. So these are like tempo plays that also draw us a card. Yeah, I'm not super sure on the cuts in this one. Like, maybe we could even cut another medium 3-mana creature, like a Belligerent Guest, to still run the Cradle in here. And maybe we could cut the Gale-Drifter because it's our slowest creature and our deck's pretty fast. That would let us put Sure Strike and Cradle of Safety back in, but then we only have 15 creatures, which would be a little bit weird. It's not that far off from your standard 17. This might be a little dumb, but I really want to put the Cradle back in, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the Gale-Drifter. I think it's just our slowest creature by far. But I'll leave the Sure Strike out, stay at 16 creatures. Alright, let's put some fancy lands on and get into some gameplay. I'm just going to name it Pinocchio, because Puppeteer's an identity, I don't know. And that's almost definitely spelt wrong. Almost definitely spelt wrong. I guess we should call it, I don't even know. I don't know Disney stories or classic fairy tales well. Who's Pinocchio's creator? Should name it after that. Aggro decks are your favorite? Well, then this is going to be a fun deck for you because this deck looks pretty great. And this is a pretty solid opener. The 2/2 Wolf into the 3/3 Flying Falcon Abomination. We can slow down whatever our opponent's doing with Chill of the Grave and Revenge of the Drowned. We will have a zombie out for Chill as well, so that only costs 2 mana. I like it. There's supposed to be music. It's on. It's just a little quiet. So, Silver Bolts. Yeah, we just run out our creatures, let them kill whatever they want here. Not gonna let fear of getting bolted stop me from playing everything. Geppetto, that's the name. Geppetto made Pinocchio. That is what we should name the deck. Alright, so we have Falcon Abomination, Patrician Geist, which are basically the same thing. We don't really have spirits in this deck. Or we could just play the creature on the ground, because they have nothing on board yet, and when they do, we'll tap it down with Chill of the Grave. So might as well play the higher power creature, I think. Plus, that way, if they want to bolt something, then they bolt something that isn't a flyer. So 3 colors from our opponent, green, white, and blue, with the rare dual land. Very nice. Good game from our opponent. I don't tend to respond to very early good games like this, because I don't want to like premature GG my opponent. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, they're just trying to trick us and kill one of our cards. Well, we'll chill that, I guess. They could kill the Runebound Wolf, or we can Revenge it or Chill of the Grave. If we Chill the Grave, we're not playing anything else here. I think I'll just Revenge their Drowned. Forces them to redraw it. Chill of the Grave, the benefit of that... Okay. Alright. Okay. The benefit of Chill of the Grave would be that they wouldn't be recasting it, so they wouldn't be giving something like -2/-0 again. The benefit of Revenge is it forces them to redraw that or permanently kills it, so it might choke up their mana into just playing around with that again. We are going first, but we have no red mana here. We can startle if our opponent plays a creature to draw a card, but if they don't play a creature and we don't draw a red source, we're in a really bad spot. I feel like this has to be a mulligan because we really need that red mana, and even if we get it, we need 4 mana. I don't want a mulligan, but I feel like I'm supposed to. Alright. This is more keepable. We don't really have wolves, so we'll get rid of that. Well, we have a couple. We have the rare and the uncommon at 4 mana. I feel like Astronomer's more likely to do things. Potentially let us discard draw if we flood out. And it does start the day-night cycle early, so if we draw one of our big bomb werewolves, they might come out during the night. Scab Wrangler from our opponent in a blue-black deck, which is the color pair that can make the best use of it. They can make Decayed Zombies and tap those down to tap our stuff. So I'm just going to offer the trade here. It's likely the Scab Wrangler is going to do more for our opponent than our Astronomer will do for us. So they don't even take the trade, and we'll just play our Belligerent Guest and keep attacking into the Wrangler. Blade Stitched Scab. Definitely some zombie tribal. That'll give their zombies +1/+0. I think I like Revenge the Drowned for now on that Blade Stitched Scab. That gets out of the way so the 2/2 can still attack here without just dying to a 2/3. It might even get rid of it permanently, because I don't know if they're just going to want to redraw that and then spend 2 on it again. Alright, they'll just toss it in their hand, so still slows them down. They'll have to recast it next turn and we get the Alchemist Retrieval out of their hand. Alright, and it looks like Belligerent Guest will trade in, Scab Wrangler will be gone, so we don't have to worry about that ability. We've got a blood token to filter away this 5th land. There's the Scab. Ooh, Stormchaser Drake. Is this a zombie Drake? No. Looks kind of like it, but it is not. 2 mana up. Let's see if they want to counter a Chill of the Grave, I guess. Hit another land for the blood token. Get that Drake out. They're at 12, and we've got a 2-power flyer down. But we're out of cards, so hopefully this blood token finds us something sweet, where our opponent could definitely make a comeback here. Mirror Hall Mimic. Copy any creature on the board. Choose the flyer, and we'll just trade them off. But then they could get another with the Disturb effect. That would not be ideal. Another land. Well, luckily this is where Obsessive Astronomer comes in clutch. I don't think we attack in here, because if we attack in, then they disturb the Mirror Hall Mimic, and they get a copy of a card on the board every single turn with Ghastly Mimicry. So I think we just pass here, and because we've cast nothing, Obsessive Astronomer will let us discard 2 cards to draw 2, so we discard these 2 lands, so Astronomer puts in a ton of work. Digging through this flood. Memory Deluge. Alright. The Upkeep Deluge. Opponent wants to show off that they can draw cards too. And they certainly can. Ooh, Stitched Assistant and Cradle of Safety. Cradle of Safety, excellent on the Drake, especially if they try to use removal on it here. They're reading it. Please try to remove our Storm Chaser Drake. That would be awesome. Alright, they do not. If I Cradle of Safety the Drake, I'm not going to want to attack in with it still, because I'll just trade off with theirs. So I think I'm still just holding on to this Cradle. I could cash it in right now just to draw a card. I don't think I want to, though. Falcon Abomination, really good with Stitched Assistant. That gives me a Decayed Zombie, and the Assistant will sacrifice it to scry one, draw a card. I'm loving how things are going here. Now, we could even attack with Astronomer, and if they single block it, we can Cradle and beat one of their creatures. We're giving up on one card draw there, but that way, instead of drawing one card off of Cradle, we're killing one of their cards off of Cradle. So we're still up a card, just in a different way. We're up a card in that we've killed a Scab, instead of drawn a card. So it's still good value to me to do that. Plus now we get to double spell with the Astronomer if we want to flip again, but I don't think we do. I don't think we want to discard this Assistant to draw a card. But it'll be a lot easier to flip from day to night than night to day in the future. And that's a Toxrill, the Corrosive. We've got to dig for an answer. That is a big yikes. Beginning of their end step, they put a slime counter on each creature they don't control. They get -1/-1 for each counter on them. They make a 1/1 whenever one of our creatures dies. They can sacrifice the 1/1s to draw cards. Yeah, we gotta draw into something here. Come on, Decayed Zombie. Find us an out. That is not an out. Abomination's going to die in their end step anyway. We could just cash it in for 1 damage. No, that's probably GG. We just needed to have, like, Revenge on the spot. I guess they just get their Mimicry out of the grave, but what are they even going to mimic? They can't mimic Toxrill. It's legendary. Alright, I guess we hit for 1. Oh, each end... I always forget it's each end step. It's our end step, too. Well, good thing I attacked, because I would have done nothing otherwise, I guess. That way, at least it's got in for a point of damage. Mind Leech Ghoul get to sack a 1/1. Oh yeah, they sack the egg to flip it. Wow. Yeah, this one got out of hand real quick. Toxrill really took it here. They had a ton of more like great exploit stuff on the ground, but we could still try to compete in the sky with our flyers if it weren't for the big slug. Now our Grafted Identity won't save us either because all these die in their end step. There's the Revenge of the Drowned. Definitely too late here though. That was nasty. Well, on to game 3. 1-1 it is. Take another look at the deck. It is fair to mention, there are mega bombs in Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow, but especially Crimson Vow. So even like an aggro, like a hard aggro deck like this could make use of counterspells like Siphon Essence or Syncopate, but we were tapped out when they played the Toxrill like regardless. So I don't know, like it's a consideration to run those kind of things over the double Revenge maybe. At least Syncopate, because Syncopate we only need to have 2 mana up. We could also just accept bombs as a fact of life and just run the deck that I think is generally consistent, more streamlined. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it as is here. But with 6 rares opened up per draft because it's 2 per pack, probably are just supposed to run the counter spells. 6 rares and your choice of colors too, it makes it much more likely you get on color bombs. That is true. When you have 2 rares in a pack, when you open up 2 rares in a pack, it's more likely that you get like an on color bomb. Because you're going to be in like 2-3 colors in the draft. Like if you just open 1 rare in a pack, often you will miss and just not pick up a bomb. You way more consistently are going to have bombs in your deck in this format, I would say. The curve is all 3 mana. We'll do it. Yeah, Cowboys gets it. Hydro homies. All right. An excellent start in terms of cards drawn. Storm Chaser Drake. Now we've got a turn 2 play, and it's quite a good one. Get in there in the sky. Drog Skull Infantry from our opponent on the play. That is going to beat us up. It's going to be a terrible trade for our belligerent guest. It's really going to muck that up. Timberland Guide now, so it's a 3/3. I guess now it's a better trade for our belligerent guest, at least. Yeah, I was pretty excited when they first announced Double Feature, but there's a few things about it that are a little unfortunate that I think would be better if it wasn't that way as a draft format. The 2 major things is that it's literally every card from Midnight Hunt and literally every card from Crimson Vow instead of a curated list that like work together like they've said it was going to be months ago. And then the second thing is 2 rares per pack. Already in historically bomb-heavy formats is certainly a thing. Yeah, I kind of like this trade, because if they try to slap a Drog Skull Armaments onto something else and we revenge it, it's going to be a pretty good deal. And at the same time, we're trying to be the aggro. See what they play for turn. Maybe we just bounce what they play for turn and attack for 5. They have no good blocks. Could also be good. That would have been Magical Christmas Land. That would have been the really cool version of the set. Woo CLS, that would have been... if they brought in like old Innistrad cards too, yeah, that would have been wild. Just kind of an Innistrad cube sort of set. That'd be really cool. Cards from Innistrad, the original, the Shadows over Innistrad stuff, and then the current Innistrad stuff. They'll probably do it at some point in the future. Do like an Innistrad cube. They've done like Ravnica mixer drafts and stuff. Okay, so we time walked them in a way because they just recast what we bounced, so that's nice. We can Cradle to trade up into it, or we can just Cradle our Storm Chaser Drake to draw a card here and draw a card off Stitched Assistant. We're attacking for 3 in the sky every turn. I do somewhat enjoy that. I almost like just playing the Stitched Assistant and holding up the Cradle for later. Let's see what we draw here, though, pre-combat. Falcon Abomination? It's pretty nice. Yeah, we're definitely trying to kill them in the sky. We kill them in 7 turns right now. If we throw Cradle of Safety on them, we kill them in 5. That is significantly faster. But then we don't have protection against removal. I'm going to hold it up against removal. We are going to get 2 more flying power out with Falcon Abomination, so technically it's not 7 turns, it's going to be a little faster than that. We do have to worry about not dying as well, so if they do any removal on our untapped blockers here, we might have to Cradle there just to be able to get a double block off. I think I'm looking for a double block here. I think I'm just trading with infantry. Could 2-for-1 myself with Cradle and Guest on the Paladin, but all of their mana's up here. That could go bad really easily. Paladin can give the infantry lifelink, but once it's gone, we don't have to worry about racing lifelink anymore. So I think this is where I'm at. I like getting rid of the infantry. If they spend the mana to give it lifelink, they're not playing anything else this turn probably, because then they only have 2 mana up. Okay, so they are going to use a combat trick. Oh no, they get to use a combat trick and they have the mana up to give it trample lifelink. They trample over for 4 and gain 6. Maybe they're not doing that? Okay, at least they're not doing that. But that means they're playing another card here, which is also bad. Unruly Mob? Okay, that's not that bad. Okay, so now we're just down to 7 and we didn't even kill one of their creatures. They have a 3 power, 4 power, some 1/1s. I might have to use Cradle just to have a 4 power creature to trade up into Paladin. I'm going to just draw the card off the blood token here. Patrician Geist. No, they can give trample lifelink to whatever they want. Target creature you control with a +1/+1 counter. They can give it to the infantry. Definitely going to hold up Slash. I want to hold up Slash and Cradle. There's no way to do that and play a creature here. I'm gonna go Falcon Abomination. We're definitely on the defensive now, though, which is not ideal. Especially this infantry is gonna get attached to something else later. But if we have Slash up when they try to move infantry around, that could be really good. But we probably won't. Probably won't here, because I might just go Cradle Guest to block Paladin. I guess we could kill both and only lose one creature if we double block infantry with the 2 toughness things, block the Paladin with Drake, and then slash the Paladin. But then infantry's armaments, the Drogskull armaments, are going to get slapped on one of these 1/1s, and that's going to be an issue. This feels weird, but I'm just going to go for that. It probably doesn't work out well, but like if they play a weird line, it will. At least they don't have the mana to armaments now. But that's not ideal. Alright. Oh no, that gives Trample lifelink because Unruly Mob gets a counter when something dies. Oh, I just got destroyed by my own ambition. Wow, this is really not good. It's a big old Paladin. It's about to be a 6/6 potentially. Get slammed by some combat tricks today. They've got 2 cards in hand and an armaments in the graveyard. Straight to combat it is. This makes me very suspicious of another combat trick. 3rd combat trick? If it's like Adamant Will, they just kill all of our creatures if I go for a triple block, so I think I just double block. So if I double block and it's a combat trick, they kill both creatures, don't lose the Paladin. But if I triple block and it's an Adamant Will, they kill all 3 creatures and don't lose the Paladin. Oh boy, maybe save one with Cradle. I don't think it will. It's still not going to be big enough to block an Unruly Mob if they slap the armaments onto it. Or a Hook Hand Mariner. Startle is something. Don't think it's enough. Do we draw the card right now? At 4 life, we chump there, take 4. So chump, startle, take 2. Although we'd still take 4 if they armaments anything except the Mariner. Plus we can't chump the Mariner if it goes to nighttime, because then it can't be blocked. Yeah, we kind of have to startle right now. Well. Another chump blocker. It's been a pretty sad draft so far. The deck is certainly running cold. Best block we've got. We get to hit in for 6 at least. But that is a land for us. I completely forgot about the Cade. It's been so long since I played with the Cade that I forgot that they all go one at a time. They take like 5 seconds apiece. Just gotta prolong the death there. R.I.P. So, that was just an opponent that got in the aggressive position with some good combat tricks to back it up. I'm definitely feeling like Syncopate should be in here at least. What do we cut out here? We've yet to draw any of our 4 or 5 mana bomby cards. No Grafted Identity, Ill-Tempered Loner, Creepy Puppeteer, Falconeth Celebrants, or Ballista Watcher. I'll go Syncopate over one of the Revenges, I guess. Although the Cradle played really poorly that game as well. Maybe we'll just go Syncopate over Cradle. Could even cut one Revenge and put in a Siphon as well. Sure. Alright, 1 and 2. Can we make the comeback with the Creepy Puppeteer deck? Round 4. Alright, okay. Alright, we're on the play with what looks to be a pretty bonkers hand. We have to hit a land by turn 4. But if we do, this is maybe as nuts as it gets. No 3-drop, I guess. The most nuts it would get would be if we had Alluring Suitor on turn 3. That would be the most nuts hand this deck is capable of. Maybe we'll top deck it, we'll see. Well, Dorothy is quite an annoying blocker. Once it blocks, sacrifice it, but it would trade with the Storm Chaser Drake, and I don't think we want to do that. I guess it would trade even after we play Creepy Puppeteer. Twin Blade Geist. I want to hold on to a Grafted Identity to steal Dorothy, but then when we attack with Dorothy, she dies anyway, so Grafted Identity doesn't feel great. When I could just play Creepy Puppeteer and Jam, then Dorothy's gone. They can put her ability onto Twin Blade Geist. I can also just play the Loner. I'm just going to play the Loner. And then now I can just attack with Loner next turn, just all by himself, flavorfully. And if they want to crack the Dorothy into the Loner, then I get to kill both their creatures at least, so it's a 2-for-1 trade. An Unruly Mob. Get a counter on the mob? No. Dorothy's still holding back the Storm Chaser Drake. Honestly, I'm still not even sure it's worth the trade of Ill-Tempered Loner, because I would kill 2 of their cards, which is something. If we flip tonight, Ill-Tempered Loner just works on everything we have, and then we can have our Storm Chaser Drake do the same thing. I'm just going to flip tonight. I'm just going to sit here doing stone cold nothing. Uh-oh, they might double spell us. That's a 2-mana spell. Do they have another 2-mana spell? They do. Oh, and it's Thalia. Thalia. Now our Grafted Identity costs 5. We still got the mana for it. Ooh, Revenge of the Drowned. Perfect. Actually perfect, because that also leaves behind the token that we'll need to crack our Grafted Identity. And it's instant speed. Yeah, it's instant speed too, so we get to let the Loner flip first. Distracting Geist, alright, sure. Bring it on out. Now I don't need to revenge Dorothy, I can just take the 2-for-1 trade. Should think I will. Grafted Identity, the Distracting Geist, I guess? Kill the Thalia so we can cast things cheaper. There's like a ton of options. I guess the Unruly Mobs do go a little ham here, so maybe we kill an Unruly Mob because we have enough mana to pay for the Thalia attacks. Yeah, we can pay for the Thalia attacks. Let's kill some mobs before they're all like 4/4s. They pass turn. What do we want to bounce? We have 6 mana right now. We'll have 7 next turn. These cost 8 mana without Thalia, 9 with. So we can probably only cast 1 spell next turn either way, so we don't need to kill Thalia. I actually like that Thalia has First Strike here, because it's going to shut off any potential double blocks they have. Same with Twin Blade Geist. So I think we just shoot the mob. Then I don't think we're going to Grafted Identity, but we could Grafted Identity the Geist. But actually with their current board state, because of First Strike, they can't kill Howlpack Avenger on attacks. Because they'll deal... If they double block like this, they deal 2 First Strike damage, and I just kill the one that doesn't have First Strike. If they block with everybody, they do 3 First Strike damage, which just kill the Double Striker and the regular creature. I guess I don't get to split up the damage. So they could triple block, and then we trade with their whole board. We've got 7 mana though, so I don't think I'm identitying here. Let's just make the most of our 7. Abomination, Puppeteer. If they want to trade their whole board into Avenger, I think that's fine. And it's going to be really easy for them to potentially misplay and let us keep the Avenger. Alright, this is not going to work as well as they want it to. They'll kill the Puppeteer, but they still lose a creature because of Howlpack Avenger's ability. It's not a free block. So do we want to kill Thalia or the Geist? We'll kill Thalia here. I'll leave the First Striker out though. We're down to 14. 2 flying power on the board. Howlpack Avenger's still around. We've got a Grafted Identity if they play anything good. It's like if they slap their ability onto one of their creatures. Gale Drifter's pretty good. Oh, and they're just going to get in. Our opponent no longer believes in blocking, which is fair enough. Although we flipped back to Ill-Tempered Loner, sadly. How did we flip back to Ill-Tempered Loner? Oh, I cast 2 spells. I'm playing against my deck. Yeah, I'm gonna Grafted Identity here. Oh no, they have an instant here for 2 mana? 1 card in hand? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I was not expecting interaction. Piercing Light. That is a thing. That will work. They get to scry 1 as well. We are winning the race right now. But that could change at any moment, depending on what they draw. They do get to slap Dorothy onto one of their creatures, which is scary. They attack for 7 a turn, but we attack for as much as we want to Fire Breathe. It's Griffrider. Uh-oh. Griffrider plus the ability to attach Dorothy is pretty big. Down to 10. Okay, so they're at 9. Ill-Tempered Loner kills them all by itself if they don't block it. So I think we just attack with Ill-Tempered Loner. If they don't block, then we kill them. If they do block, we kill whatever they block and the Distracting Geist. And then we just play Celebrants. We're in a super good spot. Still, I think. Yeah, they're forced into a really bad block here because of its ability, and I guess they don't even want to. Which is fair enough. I would not want to either. They are down to 0. So we are 2-2. Things were looking a little sketchy there for a bit. Dorothy definitely went off. Maybe could have held the Grafted Identity until after they went for the Dorothy, but I also like when I did it, we got to get some extra damage and some extra pressure. But maybe the other way around was better. 2-2. We're not 1-3. On our way to an average run. Let's go. Let's go. Let's 3-3. And that was a lot harder than I thought it would be because our opening hand was excellent. So our opponent did some great work that game. All right, 2 3-drops are great. The curve of those two. And we saw how good Astronomer is later in the game to help get us out of Flood. It didn't really help get us out of the Flood that one game, but it tried its best. Like, we drew 2 cards off of it, which was big. It tried. Playing against a blue deck. And they're in the think tank already. Blue deck doing its thing. They even have the blue dragon. Angry dragon. They've already got the rope out to strangle me with. All of their blue wizardry. I say this whole time I'm playing a blue deck. Alright, blue-black it is. That was the deck to beat in Innistrad Midnight Hunt. It's probably still quite solid in the double feature format. Turn 3 Stitched Assistant, but nothing to sack. Fine by me. I'm just going to attack in here. They'll probably take the trade. Yeah, they do. Get our Alluring Suitor down. Blood-Crazed Socialite. Card hits very hard. Play an Assistant, play Ridgewolf, pass the turn to slash the Socialite. We can also just slash it without passing the turn. Not going to have the mana up for the slash either way, but Assistant we could get a zombie token at some point to scry with, so I'm just going to play Ridgewolf and pass. Probably shouldn't have attacked with the Astronomer. I really wasn't expecting my opponent to take the trade. We do need just something on the board to get this Alluring Suitor to do its thing. Foreboding Statue. That does become a 5/5 eventually, so we might kill that with the slash instead of the menace creature. But both are pretty big threats. Ooh, we draw into a Siphon Essence, which is certainly nice. Now we can definitely just flip tonight if we want. We can also push in with attacks and we're making a trade with the Socialite, and then we just kill the statue if they block with that. Our attacks look pretty good here, especially with backup of the Moonrager slash. The Deadly Dancer is active. We're going to trade with the Socialite. Nice. Play Stitched Assistant here, or just get in for extra damage. Just get in for extra damage. So we could use that extra Deadly Dancer mana to plop down an Assistant and still be holding up 4 to cast one of these two. But it wouldn't flip tonight anymore, so we couldn't hold up both of these two if we do that. Okay. Pretty fine with that trade. And now we pass and just keep them from doing anything scary by killing the statue and countering their next big thing. And now we have a blood token to get rid of this island to draw a card. If your opponent lost life this turn, +1/+1 counter on a vampire you control. That's not that bad. That will resolve. That is allowed. Arrogant Outlaw. Well, I didn't lose life this turn, so that's just a 3/2, so that's also not that bad. Does make the Blood Thief better, though, because then they have enough creatures to try to make use of the effect a little better.
Together, we are unstoppable.
Thank you for the follow, Electech9. I think I'm just going to slash this Foreboding statue, but now Blood Thief is a big option. Or if I just hold the Ridge Wolf up, we can just block well. I'm just going to slash the statue. Ooh, Patrician Geist, and we'll have the mana up for Siphon Essence. Although if I do this, I won't have a land in hand for the blood token anymore. That's fine by me. Let's get a Geist out. Just use the blood for the next land we draw. Looks like they're going to crack their own blood now, maybe. So Outlaw trading off. Into main phase 2 we go. Crossroads Candle Guide, I'll allow it. You can double block that and still only lose one creature. I just don't want to get Toxworld or Dreadfast Demons again. Dreadfeast Demons again. To exile something from a grave. So if we had picked up an Ardent Elementalist, they could shut it off here. Oh yeah, this format is very scary, Electech9. 6 rares throughout the draft is wild. Our deck here, I think we have 5 rares in it. We have Patrician Geist, Creepy Puppeteer, Grafted Identity, Kessig Wolf Rider, and Ill-Tempered Loner. Ooh, Falcon Abomination. That gives us the creature to sacrifice for Stitched Assistant and gives us another flyer to chip away at our opponent. Kind of want to put the shields down for one turn here and play the Stitched Assistant just so we have more to block their ground creatures now that they're kind of expanding a lot. But that choice could be the difference between my life and my death, because you never know when they're going to draw the super wild card, especially because they're drawing off a blood token here, which means they're going to have 2 cards drawn this turn that they didn't have before to choose from. Yeah, I guess if Candle Guide gets in there, for a turn here. I'm holding on to the essence, grasping it for dear life. 3 mana. Blood Pact, draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. They're down to 12 now. Makes my flyers very happy. And pass the turn. That makes me very happy because I don't have to chump with anybody. And now I can Stitched Assistant and see what I draw. I like doing this before combat because we have cards like Creepy Puppeteer in our deck with haste and wild aggressive abilities. Scry to the bottom, draw a card, and we get another Falcon Abomination. Pretty nice. Attack for 4. They're dead in 2 more attacks in the sky either way, even if we stack another flyer down. It doesn't speed up the clock at all, so again, I'm just going to hold on to the Siphon Essence. Really make sure nothing goes wrong. They could cast a non-creature, non-planeswalker card. If they have a non-creature, non-planeswalker bomb, it's going to blow us up. We will explode. Alright, Candle Guide, do your thing. Hit us for 3. Even with the Blood Thief triggering, their creatures are going to get big. Far too slow to outpace our flyers. So we're just going to let it happen here, not even go for the double block, I think. Although, it's not like these have been attacking on the ground anyway. And we're only losing one of them to double block the Candle Guide. It might be worth it. I mean, the worst that can happen is like a combat trick and in blue-black. The combat tricks aren't that bad. It could just be like a startle, and they'd still only kill one of our creatures. If it's a removal spell, that'd be the thing we're most scared about. But if it's a removal spell, they're just going to kill one of our flyers to not die as fast. So we don't need to play around removal on blocks. They might not even make this attack. They're still in the think tank about it. Yeah, sure. Trade one of my creatures into the skeleton. Into good old Pumpkin Dance. So we traded our 3/2 into a 3/4. We can counter this if we want, but it's not necessary, so I won't. Not necessary to counter that either. Yeah, game's on lock here. Just only counter something like a Toxtril, because otherwise they're dead next turn. Fingers crossed. We've played so conservatively with our counterspell that the only thing that can really stop us is 2 removal spells this turn, because we can't counter a removal spell. Alright, Socialite gets in for 5. We take it, we can double block, but we don't even kill it on that. And we lose one of our flyers. Which is very much not ideal. Alright, it gets a counter. Attack with 3 flyers. They have to kill 2 of them. Alright. 3 and 2. Nice little comeback here. At least an average run. Crossing all the fingers. Thank you. Alright, here we go. 3 wins. We need 2 more wins to break even. Otherwise, we're down 900 gems. It is 1,500 to enter, I believe. We win 1 more game, we're only down 500 gems. This is an expensive draft format. Prize support is definitely lowered because of those Dracula card styles. They're trying to really upcharge. Round 6, let's go. 3 and 2. Can we make it to 5 wins? Break even on this one? I have been using draft tokens on these, though, that I got from the Decathlon events, so technically haven't spent any gems, but still. Be nice to get the full value out of them. Yeah, definite keeper. Tons of 3 mana stuff, a nice 1-drop. That stays relevant throughout the game, thanks to its ability to spit out creature tokens. We have the Abomination to go with the Assistant, which is a great combo. We have the Alluring Suitor to go with the Creepy Puppeteer. Pretty wild combo, nice draw. Those two, I expect those to attack together quite well. I don't want to get Mind Rotted anymore. I don't want the Mind Rots. Probably get rid of Assistant. Alright, so we can play Alluring Suitor, and that way, even if we don't draw land next turn, we can still play Puppeteer, but then we'd be playing Puppeteer post-combat because of the add mana is after we've already attacked, so that would be awkward. Still going to be a better attacker than anything else we have here on an empty board. Yeah. Still going to go for it. Opponent's on mono black so far. There's a Fell Stinger. That's not good. There's a Death Touch blocker. Trade off with our Creepy Puppeteer and draw them some cards. It's like a red source here and a Flame Blessed Bolt to get rid of the Wolf Rider, so we are no longer attacking with 2 creatures. Really good turn from our opponent. Kind of shuts off all those plans, so Falcon Abomination it is. Pass turn. Florian, Voldaren Scion. Beginning of the post-combat phase. At the top X cards library, where X is the total amount of life your opponent's lost this turn, exile 1. We play the exiled card this turn. So they play land for a turn off of that. They get a card draw off of it. Just a pretty excellent deal in general. We can't even attack with Suitor into this Florian because of the first strike, so we'll have to chill it. Yes, Suitor's not doing as much as we'd hope anyway. We'll just take this trade and keep them off a card draw. Do hit the Creepy Puppeteer, but Puppeteer isn't attacking in until we chill Florian. Chill Florian, hold up a Syncopate. Get in for some decayed zombie damage that way, but we can also just keep the zombie around for if we draw a Grafted Identity or something, which is probably better. So we'll just keep the zombie around here and just hit in the sky. Hold these up. If we need to Syncopate for more than one, we can now. But hopefully we only have to Syncopate for one so that we can also Chill of the Grave. If they just go straight to combat, I think we chill to keep them from drawing cards. Right now I wish I main phase chilled, because now I just drew into a 2-drop. Ooh, no I don't. That's a beautiful Syncopate. Thank you, Syncopate. Very cool. Oh no, they had the extra land, but they were holding it for blood tokens. So they could have paid for the Syncopate. Creepy Puppeteer it is, attack for 8 via its ability. And if we attack for... If we attack with all 3 creatures, we also still just attack for 8, because Creepy Puppeteer only goes off if I'm attacking with 2, so that's now why we're not sending the zombie. think I hold on to this land. Because we have blood tokens, they've shown some discard. We only have one 5-drop in the deck. If we draw it, we'll just play the 5th land. Alright, Florian's still tapped, and we have a creepy Puppeteer on the board, which guarantees that the Falcon Abomination hits them for 4 in the sky, puts them down to 2 life. Feels okay. Ooh. Magma Pummeler. Oh. Never didn't have it. I was going to say Magma Pummeler makes attacking with Creepy Puppeteer a lot worse, but if we just get it right out of the way with Revenge of the Drowned, that is lethal on the spot. And that's 4 and 2 now? Actually, 1 win away from breaking even. Alright, really nice comeback from the 1-2 start. 4 wins, 1,000 gems, let's go. I'm very, very happy I threw the counterspells back in. I think from square one, we should have just been playing the counterspells. This format is way too bomby to just be going for the startle and stuff that we were going instead of them. So we're in round 7 now. Nice long run with this first deck. Let's get this one more win, get our 1,500 gems, and get out of here. If I win this game, I'll just resign with a 5-win run. No. It'd be funny, though. No turn to play. A little sad. We've got a hand absolutely chock full of great 3-mana cards.
Together, we are unstoppable.
And a Shobu, thank you very much for the follow. Falcon Wrath Perforator. You know what? I'm not going to have time to syncopate in the future. Get out of here. Now I have a 2-drop. It's syncopate. So let's go... Yeah, we're definitely not going to have time to syncopate in the future. We're just going to keep jamming 3s. Empty board. Which card is the best? I'm just going to go Falcon Abomination because of the Stitched Assistant combo. There are multiple combos that work really well by putting Falcon Abomination down. With Falcon Abomination down, we can Stitched Assistant whenever we want and sack this zombie. We could also, if we hit a land, then we spend 3 to play Alluring Suitor, attack with these 2, and it'll flip, so we have 2 mana from that and 1 mana from our 4th land, to then play Suitor and Guest next turn. There's like multiple great combos, and it looks like we're going for the Suitor-Guest combo here. If they let this attack go through. Yeah, Falcon Abomination just opens up so many paths, so many lines. It looks like they do have the play with fire, so that is going to have the Alluring Suitor combo get countered. So not playing 2 creatures on the turn like we could have. Sunrise Cavalier, 3/3 trample haste. Gets a +1/+1 counter whenever it flips between day and night. They're going to try to outrace us here. I'm pretty happy with that. We're just going to get in here, and then we'll have 6 mana total, and we'll just play 2 more creatures. Well, thanks for the kind words, Anishobu. I'm glad you're enjoying the YouTube videos, and welcome to the stream. Yeah, I love this. We just get to run out 2 creatures here off the Alluring Suitor still. Even if we had to do it a turn later, it's still going to be quite spicy. So I definitely like Falcon Abomination. And Belligerent Guest, I think. Just get as aggressive as we can, put as many creatures on the board as possible, as much damage as possible. And then we'll just chill one of their blockers here to really get in. Alright, so Resistance Squad, a 3-mana 3/2, and they draw a card. Pretty great deal. Ooh, Moonrager slashes the draw too? Wow. We could just slash the Cavalier rather than chill it. Attack with everybody, because anything they block with is a trade. If I chill one of their creatures here, I could draw into a land. If I'm really lucky, I could play bold and just go for the chill first and see if we draw the slash as well, and then we kill both creatures. But I would much rather Moonrager slash the Cavalier than the Squad. But if I don't draw the land, it's going to be way better if we had chilled the Cavalier than the Squad, so I think I'm on chill the Cavalier here. And if I hit the land, sad, I am going to slash the Squad instead of the Cavalier. But it's still going to mean we get in for a boatload of damage here and probably just kill them before the Cavalier untaps anyway. So yeah, we did hit the land. If I literally knew that it was a land on top, then I would have tapped the other one and killed the other one. But this is still better than had I just went for the slash and didn't go for chill this turn. So I'm still cool with it. Yeah, we're hitting for 10. We're putting them down to 5. With a Fire Breather on the board from Deadly Dancer. And we're just cashing in the Decayed Zombie for 2 more damage to them rather than a card draw, because we're just trying to kill them before they commit anything else to this board. 2 damage spell in hand to kill Falcon Abomination? No, take 10 down to 5. Plus, thanks to Belligerent Guest, we kind of still have some card draw. We at least have filtering to get through any land cards we draw with the blood tokens. Alright, they've got 5 mana now. Vanquish the Horde! Okay, we've got a game. It is not over. What do we got from this blood token? Another land. Stitched Assistant it is, then. Play with fire to kill the assistant. Okay. And that Vanquish the Horde was huge. Now they've got a 2/4 down. Famished Foragers with the mana to discard a card, draw a card, or dump another creature out. They'll dump another creature or an Elementalist, get the Wrath back to be super safe. Oh, another Play with Fire, it looks like. Stancia Uprising 2 from our opponent. Stormchaser Drake. We're forced into a chump block. We take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from Play with Fire. Chump block that. 5 on board, 2 in hand. That's still lethal. They've got to punt hard for us to live another turn, and I doubt they will. They could also just Play with Fire the Stormchaser Drake and kill us that way instead. Either way, the world is their oyster. That is going to end the run, 4-3, a little bit above average at least. But sad to see it end this way, demolished by the Wrath. And there's Exactsies. Alright, not the end of the world, not a bad first draft of the night. Still a positive record. Take one final look at the deck for those who've shown up throughout the draft. This was what we had here. Pretty aggressive blue-red deck. Probably could have had a little bit of a better record there. I think I didn't run with the best build of this deck initially. I think Syncopate and Siphon Essence did quite a bit of work after we put these in from the sideboard, after we got bombed out a few games. Both of these cards just played really well, especially Syncopate because of how cheap you can cast this sometimes, so it's not that hard to hold it up. So I think 100% Syncopate should have been in here from the start, and if it was, you know, maybe we would have had something to maybe beat like the Toxrill deck or anything like that. But other than that, I think the deck was pretty solid, just really aggressive stuff. Lots of great 3-drop flyers. The Alluring Suitors are awesome. And then a bunch of 4-mana, 5-mana bombs. We have Ill-Tempered Loner, Creepy Puppeteer, Grafted Identity at 4. All of those cards absolutely wild to try to close out the game real quick. So it's a pretty nice deck, 4-3.
Well, that is going to end today's video, but as always, I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.